Welcome back, listeners of Strictly Biased, with yours truly, Will Retherford. I am joined out here at Stage 22. It is absolutely beautiful this
On the
evening.
actual stage today.
Yes, on the actual stage. I am joined by a guest that really needs no introduction. He is the machine behind the Central Indiana Sports Report, and that would be Greg Mengel. So, Greg, thank you for
it's
being
called
here.
the Central Indiana Sports Report with Greg Mengel. So, yeah.
Yes.
But
Yes.
thank you, Will. I'm honored to
Yes.
be your co-host.
You are the machine that makes it happen. We today are going to dive into some NFL conversation. We're going to start out by a new segment that we have called 5 Winners and 5 Losers. We're going to then do our NFL picks.
Well, when you say 5 winners and 5 losers, you talking just teams? You talking players? You talking...
We're talking anything encompassing the NFL.
Gotcha.
So it's going to be just kind of based on reactions to things that happened in the NFL realm. And it will follow into different sports, but right now we're fully focused on football. We are going to also give our Week 2 NFL picks. This year we have something new. Myself, I am competing against 15 other media members in the Central Indiana Sports Report network.
And from around the state.
Yes, and from around the state on their picks, and we are going to see how I go up against the other members of the media. So it was a pretty good week. Seeing the board pretty well. I wouldn't say it's great, but for Week 1, you don't really know what teams are actually like. I feel good about some of the picks I made. I was awfully silly on a few of them as well. And then just to follow up, lastly, we are going to be talking about our reaction to the Colts game on Sunday, just giving a little preview towards that, and we are super excited to talk to everybody. Greg, I've got a lot to say, but first, what do you want to know?
I think you probably know what I want to know, and are the Colts going to win the AFC South?
I think that I'm way more on to that idea than I was just
too,
a week ago. It
a
was
week ago, I couldn't imagine I would have felt
No.
this way.
With that being said, Jacksonville did also look pretty good in their debut. That was a pretty steadfast win over the Panthers. They look like they have the chance to be firing on all cylinders. But both teams have big tests this week as far as you're going to learn, okay, are they real? Jacksonville plays the Bengals. The Colts play the Broncos. And the Texans are still going to be in that conversation. That was always going to be
absolutely. That defense is so good they have to be.
A bloody defensive game. Both of those teams have really good defenses as
good
far
defense,
as the Rams.
good quarterback, you're going to be a good team.
I can confidently say that the Titans, I think, are out of the conversation. They look pretty bad. But, yes, I do think
But they're going to win some games.
I think the Colts absolutely have a chance to win the AFC South, and that is not something that I would have said a week ago.
I think they have the best roster in the division.
You do. I think that they have...
I mean, now that we've seen Bordolini and Gonzalez through a rookie year and a game 1, and we've seen what the defensive backs have done. We've seen with the use of Anaromo with Kwity Paye and Latu, we'll see on that. But, yeah, I really think I think they might have the best complete roster in the division. But you know what? It still makes them, at best, the 6th best team in the AFC.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that it's comfortable to say that the Colts have entered the realm of conversation as far as early risers, as far as their performance on Week 1. I do love how the defense worked. I loved Kenny Moore kind of in a Swiss Army knife role. I thought he was great.
The defensive backfield looked great. Even Nick Cross.
They looked awesome. Nick Cross was great. He's a downhill player. I love the fact that he wasn't making 12 tackles, which is great. That was a huge issue last year as far as the defensive line and linebackers.
But we know they can tackle. The defensive backfield can tackle.
They can tackle well.
We learned that last year.
They turned the ball over, and they played really sound defensively. I love this Anarumo kind of enigma defense that is going to change and be variable. He's great offensive mind in Sean Payton in Denver. So we're going to learn more about his defense. I think you're going to see adjustments, you're going to see changes, and I think that every week the defense is going to look a little different just by sheer nature of their opponent, which is something that, NFL teams do adjust. I think you'll see base defenses as far as just where the Colts are playing change a lot too. I think you saw Gus Bradley was not really a guy that changed his defensive schematics at all. He played formations. He was pretty strong with the 4-3 defense, and I don't know if that always boded well to the Colts' playing style and the players that they had on the roster. So you're going to see I don't know. I just like not seeing cover too high. I just don't. I like not seeing just
Vanilla.
vanilla defenses that are easy to pick apart as far as just sustaining long drives. They made it really difficult for Miami to consistently get ahead of the sticks. It's not something that happened last year. I love everything about this defense right now.
The only question is, what happens when they play a good offense?
And I think that we're going to see a test as far as a good offense this week.
Decent offense.
Is it a great offense? I think that's yet to be determined, but I think that they are a good offense that will put points up. So we are going to do our first news segment as far as 5 winners and 5 losers right now. I hope everybody enjoys it. I'd like to get feedback on if people think it's good, people think it's bad. We'll adjust.
We always adjust. That's one of our philosophies at the Central Indiana Sports Report. Speaking of which, can I write you a theme song off the top of my head?
I'd love one. Absolutely. Yeah, I think it'd be a great addition.
5 winners and 5 losers with Will Retherford.
TJ McConnell-esque is what that was. So, my winners.
You have no idea what goes on in this brain.
Yeah, honorable mention winner. Not on the 5, so I guess it's not just 5 winners and 5 losers, because there are a couple honorable mentions I just want to talk about. But my first winner is Mike McDaniel's realtor, because he will be moving. He is not going to be in Miami any longer.
I'm kind of surprised he lasted the week.
Yeah, they looked really bad, and they just look like a team that's lost.
I have a feeling they're not that bad.
I don't think they're that bad either, but I just see his experiment in Miami's time will be over. I don't see them being able to win their division, and they look just bad all the way around. It's really hard to make an argument for him as some elite NFL head coach after that performance. The 5th winner, Chris Boswell's wallet. He has been in a holdout with the Pittsburgh Steelers over a few $1 million, and he earned his money as far as that 60-yard game winner in New York in a tough kicking environment. He also hit a 50-yard early in the game.
The toughest kicking environment there is, maybe.
Yeah.
Numbers-wise.
And Chris Boswell has done nothing but win ball games for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Didn't think there was any chance it was going in.
For years.
Didn't think there was any chance he was making it.
If you're a team that can't say, hey, I think we can find an extra $1 million for our kicker after he just did that, you're fooling yourself. He's one of the best in the league. Pay that man. Number 4, Pete Carroll's resume. Is Vegas just going to be good because he's their coach?
Maybe.
Like, that team just
They have a pretty good roster.
Awfully gritty.
And Gino's not bad.
No, he looked really comfortable, really good.
He's what Daniel Jones should be aspiring to.
Absolutely.
After a microphone malfunction.
Yeah, Gino is great. I think that's absolutely what Daniel Jones should be aspiring to be. I think Gino's a much better passer of the football than Daniel Jones is as far as pushing it downfield, I think, a little bit more. But Gino can still play in today's NFL, even at his age.
Gino's gotten better every year.
I agree.
He's progressed every year. Something he's done. And Daniel Jones should be looking at that as a role model.
Absolutely. My number 3 winner, the Philadelphia Eagles players. They just won that ball game last Thursday. I know that it's been a week now since that conversation happened, and it's been a little distant, but they played just really well, especially with that 65-minute weather delay. I thought they came out, they looked energized, they looked like they were more physical, they looked faster than Dallas, although I do think Dallas is a good football team. I don't think they're horrible. Philadelphia just looked like a team that won a Super Bowl and has every intention of winning another one this year. They just look disciplined. Number 2, Green Bay Packers, anything. God, you want to talk about a fan base that has every right to feel awesome about your franchise? I think it's the Green Bay Packers.
Michelle was saying last night, oh, it's only week 1. I said, man, if I was a Packers fan, I'd be out of my mind excited.
Yeah, I do think that there is some conversation around Detroit. We'll get to that in just a minute. But Micah Parsons, he was an impact player, and he only played, I want to say it was 55% of the snaps. It was not
25 plays, I think.
Yeah, maybe 45% of the snaps. Regardless, he looked great, and I think that entire defense looked better with him. So that offense looked more than capable of playing good football. Jordan Love is a good quarterback. I love that his ability to thread the needle as far as throwing into danger, throwing on the seams to tight ends. He's just a real difference maker, and I think that this is a potential. I don't know if you want to say that his first year starting was a breakout year, but maybe he takes that next step into real superstardom. We'll see.
Well, this podcast is going out at midnight Thursday, so the Thursday night game will already be over, which the
Yes.
Packers are involved in.
Yep.
But we will be picking it anyway for posterity
Absolutely.
and part of the contest.
Yes. My last winner is the NFL fans for Ravens-Bills. What a football game.
Oh,
How lucky were we? How lucky were we that we
even
got
when
to...
the Ravens it looked like they were going to win by 12
Absolutely.
points, it was still a great game.
Absolutely. What I love so much is that NFL fans were given a moment. We were able to see two superstars play it out and do everything they could for their team to win. Derrick Henry looked incredible, but you cannot say that Lamar Jackson is not the engine that makes that team run. And
so
Josh
good.
Allen is the Buffalo Bills. There should not even be a conversation.
He was amazing.
He was just immaculate. It was an Oscar-worthy performance on week one. I thought the coverage was excellent. NBC doesn't usually swing and miss very often, but I'm just so thankful that we were able to watch that game and see those two quarterbacks week one in a very high-stakes game get the opportunity to play it out, and I just couldn't have been more happy with what we got to see our Sunday finish off with.
Lived up to it and more.
The billing was incredible. It just felt like a big super fight. It felt like Mayweather and McGregor. It felt like the NBA Finals. It felt like watching Tiger Woods on a Sunday in his prime. It just
Two
felt
desperate
like
franchises, man.
it felt like must-see TV, appointment television, and I'm glad that the reception of it was as good as it was. That's an all-time NFL game. We will circle back to that game years from now and
with
think
two all-time quarterbacks.
absolutely,
Absolutely. Time. I'm cementing it already, Will.
yes.
All-timers. I was lucky enough to cover Lamar Jackson's entire college football career, and it was an honor to watch him. Very difficult, especially at that age, to interview. That's a different story. But he's the best college football player I've ever seen, at least up close.
All right, well, and he's transformed the NFL too. So this is a player that has had greatness written all over him. The fact that there was even a conversation of him being a wide receiver or a running back, how silly.
Yeah. And I wasn't even sure. I covered him for 3 years at Louisville. I wasn't sure it would translate to the NFL, and holy crap, did it ever.
Did it.
And the other thing is he could play those other positions.
I agree completely. He's that good of an athlete. I
Yes.
think that he would be an all-pro player wherever he decided to make his
He'd be an
home.
amazing wide receiver.
Absolutely. We started with the positives. Now kind of have to go to the negatives
now
a little
to
bit.
the losers.
I actually have 7 losers, 2 honorable mentions, because there were a couple that I just could not leave out. My first loser honorable mention was watching Broncos and Titans. That game was gross. That game was just hard to watch at the 4:05 time slate. I just got no happiness from watching that game. It was...
You're still convinced by Bo Nix, huh?
I am. I still think that he's a really good football player.
I think he's good enough to make the Broncos a really good team. I don't think he's good enough to make them an elite team.
The jury's still out. I think that I'm not going to circle the wagons on one performance against a Titans defense.
But I've been saying it before his NFL career started.
Well, but I think that last year you'd be remiss to say that he wasn't awfully good.
He was okay.
He was awfully
He
good.
exceeded my expectations, but when they played good teams, he was exposed.
Well, and I think that you're going to get the opportunity, especially to see that with what I think is a good Colts team.
Which is why when our picks come up, I might be taking the Colts, Will.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm convicted yet on that. But
I might be.
But if I'm wrong, whatever. I picked the Dolphins last week, so that shows the faith that I had in the Colts, and I made an ass of myself pretty quickly in that situation.
So did I. I said they'd start 1-6.
My second honorable mention, Bryce Young looked just all sorts of discombobulated in Jacksonville. I know that they also had a weather delay that played a role probably in the performance as far as teams just not really having any momentum, but boy, he just did not look good.
Bo Nix is a slightly better version of Bryce Young.
That's crazy because Bryce Young, really outside of about an 8-game stretch, has looked pretty putrid as a NFL quarterback, and Bo Nix took his team to the playoffs last year. So I do think it is a little funny to say that. In fact, I think it's just straight wrong, actually, that you just said that, to be quite frank with you. I think that it's really hard to even compare the two because Bo Nix has been that much better than Bryce Young in his career. But with that being said, Bryce Young might be staring down another benching because he looked awful. I hope that he gets it figured out. That was a player on the rise and a team that stock was on the rise a little bit coming into the season, and they kind of got exposed. So you're going to see. Where does he bounce back from
He
here?
proved that he was good enough to be a career backup.
Oh, easily, for sure. But that's not what he got drafted, and you saw a team move 8 spots to pick him.
But at least he's good enough to be a career backup.
Can we also say that Bills-Panthers trade is one of the best examples of a complete lose-lose situation for both franchises? There have been no impactful players that have really come from that trade at all.
NFL trades almost never do.
Yeah, I can't think of one.
Unless it's like a one-person trade for, like this because of a contract dispute. But just player-for-player trade.
Well, it was a picks for player trade with some, DJ Moore coming back.
But it was really we don't want to pay this guy trade.
Yeah, that was just a trade that we'll look back and say, everybody, oh my God, look at.
We should put the Cowboys on the losers for that.
Yeah.
I mean.
Look at the Panthers, and it's like they have done nothing with that. Bryce Young's not been worth it. He went to a horrible franchise, don't get me wrong, but the Bears, they also haven't figured it out either.
Oh, man.
So, my first loser that's not an honorable mention, Justin Herbert haters. My God, did he look good on Friday night in Brazil. Talk about poised. Talk about big, strong, all the intangibles. Justin Herbert's got it.
I just need him to prove it to me a little longer. That's all. I want him to be great.
He's been awfully good. He's been quietly really good in his career. The Chargers, I think by no luck other than the luck they have, which is bad.
How did Jim Harbaugh react to your slap in his face?
Well, he went out and proved me wrong.
Yeah, like I told you.
He went out and proved me wrong.
He might be the best coach in the NFL. Every time he comes to the NFL, both times, it's just complete different teams. And that's the reason I put the Chargers in the same conversation as a potential contender as Buffalo and Baltimore, only because of that.
Yeah, I think that it's worthy of the conversation. I thought they looked really good. The Chiefs definitely looked down, and Worthy's absence was felt in that game as far as just they had no playmakers.
They have no playmakers.
Nobody. Mahomes was running.
But they didn't
for his
last
life.
year, and they won 15 games.
Yeah. But, Justin Herbert's haters, they need to go away because that is a really, really good NFL quarterback.
By the way, Chargers, coolest uniforms in the NFL.
They are cool. They're very cool. My second loser, Cleveland Browns fans. What? Oh. Dude, what have they done wrong?
Oh.
They did everything they could to lose that game on Sunday. They had no business. They outperformed Cincinnati at almost every single statistical metric and still lost. It's baffling to me.
Speaking of slaps in the face, I've heard it said that Cleveland is the equivalent of a slap to the face.
Well, it is. Look at the Cavaliers. I mean, talk about
They won a championship, but they had to suffer through LeBron James to do it.
That's a loser city. Those are loser organizations. They are mediocrity at its finest. I have no love lost for Cleveland, and it just makes me happy seeing them lose.
They used to have a really cool IndyCar race, and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's cool.
But their fans just don't deserve the hell that they've put through. They don't.
Really
those
don't.
people do not deserve it.
Northern Ohio, I'm really sorry about what you're going through.
Hard.
You guys suck, and Ohio State fans might be the worst fans in the country, but you don't deserve this.
I mean, you're forced to watch Donovan Mitchell's theatrics in the NBA playoffs. You're forced to watch Joe Flacco throwing the ball. They don't. But it does kind of make me happy a little bit.
It does. But they don't. No one deserves that.
Yeah.
Maybe Philadelphia.
Third, Russell Wilson's pride. That dude got completely crapped on after that game. I mean, the fact that there were reports about his head coach going to ownership and saying, we have to start Jackson Dart. Which should go to tell you how they think about Jackson Dart. That he can elevate that roster.
It tells you how they feel about Russell Wilson.
Well, but then why sign him? Why sign him?
They know.
Send Jameis Winston out there to fall on the sword. At least he's entertaining. At least
you're better than that.
Russell Wilson just
3 years now, man. He's
horrible.
Not good.
Horrible. I can see why Sean Payton said, "Get out of here." I would rather pay for you to not be on my organization. I think that.
Yeah, and he would have loved Russell Wilson about 5 years earlier.
Russell Wilson's persona, his brand, it's just weird.
He was a generic Drew Brees. He would have loved him.
it just comes down to the fact that he's not a starting quarterback in the NFL anymore, and he's got to really be feeling it when he performed that poorly.
You're headed to the Hall of Fame, my man, but it's time.
I don't know if I agree with that. The way his career's
You
down
can make an argument
spiraled,
both ways, but I definitely
the way that his career's down spiraled these last 4 years, it's not been good for his brand. It's not been good for the argument.
he made some of the great plays in NFL history. I understand people who say no, but I think he's a Hall of Famer. He's better than some Hall of Fame quarterbacks who are in.
Okay. All right. I'm actually going to disagree with you. I don't know. I think that he's right on the bubble of Hall of really good. I don't know if he's Hall of Fame. My fourth loser, the Detroit Lions. They looked horrible in Green
I think
Bay.
Ben Johnson may have been that good.
I think he may have too. I mean, you saw what Caleb Williams looked like on script. He was 10 for 10. He looked great. Those first few drives. You want to talk about the North Carolina Tar Heels and the Chicago Bears have to ring it up of, hey, we are incredible first-drive football teams this year. But outside of that, the Bears, quite frankly, lost that game. They did everything they could to lose that game on Monday night.
That's true. But I do believe Ben Johnson is that guy.
Well, I agree. And I do think that Detroit had a really tough task week one.
Yes.
That Packers team had a lot of steam, had a lot of heat.
Hey, Will, it might even been the first podcast you and I did together about the NFL. I said that the Packers were winning the NFC in 2025. Before last season.
You did.
I just want to point that out.
Yep.
That was before Micah Parsons. And everything I said last year, the reason they wouldn't win it last year was true. They were too young in positions. Now all those guys are grown men.
Yep.
And they are elite.
I agree. My biggest loser for the week is AR fanboys. Daniel Jones is the starter for this year. I think his week one performance already cemented himself as they are not moving off of him at all. They're definitely... Anthony Richardson's not playing this year.
They have a philosophy. They're going with it. Fine.
If Daniel Jones came out and played horrible, there was an argument to be made that maybe you see Anthony Richardson at some time, but this week one, they're just not going to succumb to the pressure this year.
I tried to tell you, Will, just a couple weeks ago, that if Daniel Jones is given time and has weapons, he can be an average NFL starter.
It all went well. It's not going to all go well the rest of the year.
You're right. There will be a time
that he plays really bad.
Soon.
Because that's just the mean. He's not a great NFL quarterback. Like, he will get exposed. You hope it's not this week at home against Denver, but at some point it's going to happen.
I hope Colts fans aren't thinking he's a franchise quarterback.
I hope so. I hope not either. I hope not either. So we gave you something new. Now we're going to give you something that you should be pretty used to now, and that's the 5 teams most likely to win the Super Bowl. So, you know what? First, I want to know what you think as far as your 5. And I want to see how it matches up with mine really quick.
Buffalo, Baltimore, Green Bay, Philadelphia. And again, most likely is different than what I'm predicting. Because the Eagles, I don't think, are going to be NFC champions. But when you phrase it most likely, if everything went well, they've got the best roster.
Absolutely.
They, of course, could win it again.
Absolutely.
I want to make it another NFC team because I think Baltimore or Buffalo's probably winning the AFC. Who's the third NFC team?
Well, I guess I'll give you my list and we'll see. I think we match up pretty well. So, my 5th most likely is Green Bay. They looked really good.
I put them third.
My 4th most likely is the Buccaneers.
Oh, I forgot the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are probably number 3.
For whatever reason, the Falcons in Atlanta just pose something to
I'm in
the
love
Bucs.
with this Buccaneers team. I don't know how I forgot them. They, you talk about winners. Them finding Egbuka, as we talked about the night of the draft, we all were saying, how is no one drafting this guy? And that revitalized that entire organization. That one guy who's a rookie, not even a first rounder.
Yep.
Was he late first round?
He was a first-round pick.
Okay, late first round.
Yeah.
A lot of people passing him up. Even other receivers were taken ahead of him. He and Tyler Warren are the front runners for Offensive Rookie of the Year. I like Baker Mayfield. I don't know if I like him enough to take him to win the NFC.
When he's on, he's on.
Yeah.
When he's on, he's a top 5 quarterback in the
But the
league.
Buccaneers have an easier schedule than the Packers if they can get home field.
Yep.
So I'm going to say Baltimore. Baltimore's number 1 to me. I know they lost that game. Buffalo, Tampa Bay, Green Bay, Philadelphia.
Okay. My 3 is Baltimore. I said that I like Buffalo more. I just like Buffalo more as a team. I understand
you having them number 2.
So that's just how I feel. I think that they're a really good football team. I think that I talked about the grit. But there's just a grit about that Baltimore team and what Josh Allen has that they're just winner. They went and won that game. The Ravens didn't even go lose Sunday Night Football.
They did a little bit.
Josh Allen just went out there and won a football game. That's what happened.
Good.
That's what happened.
He was so. It reminded me of Peyton Manning when every time he got the ball, I expected him to score,
Yep.
and every time on Sunday night, Josh Allen got the ball, I thought he was scoring.
Yep, I agree. My number 2, Philly, because why not?
I think it's going to implode.
I think A.J. Brown's getting traded.
I didn't think they looked that good on Thursday. I thought
they played their C game and still won.
Okay,
they played a C game and still won against a divisional rival.
We might find them at 8-9 at the end of the year. I'm just saying it's possible.
I think it's possible, but they played a C game and still won. And I just have this gut feeling that A.J. Brown's going to get traded. I think that they're kind of getting tired of his antics a little bit. I think Devontae Smith, I've said for years, he's the better wide receiver. A.J. Brown's the better football player. Their drop-off of having Devontae Smith as your number 1 receiver is not enough to justify dealing with whatever A.J. Brown is.
Drop-off at number 2 receiver, though.
Well, perhaps, but maybe they feel convicted in Jahan Dotson. Maybe they feel convicted as far as their run game is going to carry their team with their offensive line. Do you really need to pay both A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith if one of them is causing an issue?
No, and A.J. Brown is the one you point out. There are like 7 guys on that team that could sink that locker room at any moment.
For sure. It could absolutely happen. But I think they have good leadership. I think Jalen Hurts is not that player.
He's definitely not.
So I have faith that they're going to be there.
I actually don't think Jalen Carter is.
No, I think he got caught in a bad situation, for sure.
I don't think he is. He's one of those guys. But we know that he could be.
He had the risk, and he could be.
He is so good, though.
Oh. And just think, he didn't play that game.
That's right.
And they still won. So,
immature, for sure.
For sure.
But he's also a guy that I think the Eagles can count on.
Absolutely. My number 1 team, Buffalo. And I shouldn't even say, my number 1's Josh Allen. That's what I should say. He's that good.
I think Lamar Jackson's better. I really do. It's close.
You cannot in your right mind watch that game on Sunday. Watch both of them play with the talent that Baltimore has on their roster.
Josh Allen was for sure the better quarterback on Sunday night. Of course, Lamar Jackson and that offense, they took their foot off the gas a little, and that cost him. Not on him necessarily. I'm just saying, I think Lamar Jackson, give me AFC Championship, I'm taking Lamar Jackson. I'm just telling you. If they play each other in the AFC Championship, there's like 20 weeks between now and then. I could change my mind.
I said myself, I think that those two teams are so good, it's going to be really hard to beat them twice. I think now I also have to give the edge to Baltimore if I'm playing them in an AFC Championship, because I just think that the script will be out. They've seen what Buffalo can do, but
you're making my argument. Baltimore's number 1.
No, no, because Josh Allen. He is that good. He is the end all be all.
He is that good.
He is the best quarterback I've watched with my eyes. He is that much better.
Man, Lamar Jackson was so good. He was so good.
Look at the talent that they have. Josh Allen is not playing.
They're so concerned about him that they're not even touching Derrick Henry till 10 yards down the field. I'm convinced of that.
That's great. That's awesome. But Josh Allen legitimately just plays Superman. He just doesn't make any mistakes.
Again, I'm going to take Lamar Jackson. I get your argument.
Whenever Lamar has had the opportunity to be a winner in a big stage, he's lost.
He wasn't as good as he is now. And last year was not on him. I'm going to defend Lamar Jackson to the end, Will.
I think that's great. You should feel convicted,
I
but
am.
you watch that game, and
Josh
Josh
Allen
Allen
was
has a
better on
bigger
Sunday.
impact. But it's not just Sunday.
I
It's
don't think
every
so. I
Sunday.
don't
It's
think he has a
every
bigger-
single Sunday.
I don't think he has a bigger impact. I don't.
Well, he's the most valuable player.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson also has been twice.
Josh Allen can't win it again this year.
Yeah, he can. Lamar Jackson's going to. Let's make some picks.
He was
Will.
also my MVP pick this year as well.
So now your bases are covered.
Yeah,
Because it's going to be one of those two, I think.
it is without question.
They're so good.
Without
those
question.
two teams are so good. There's a chance that they only have 3 losses between them between now and the next time they play.
I agree.
That's how good they looked the other night. A lot of teams look good, though, and week 1 can fool us, as you know. Speaking of which, let's get to some picks,
Yes.
Will. Thursday night, just about to get going, is Washington at Green Bay. Vegas says Green Bay is a 3.5-point favorite at home. The game is on Prime Video. Nobody cares because that game's already passed. And, Will, the way this game is played, every game is worth 10 points. The favorite is worth fewer points than if you pick the underdog. So the underdog has the higher value. And in this one, Will, I have Washington worth 6 points, Green Bay worth 4 points. Who's your pick and why?
Packers. I think they're just a better team, better roster.
As people listen to this, they will already know if you are right or wrong. I'm also taking the Packers. So far, only Cade Hampton of the Star Press has taken Washington.
Well, and I think that you could see an avenue where Washington goes and wins that game easily.
Yeah.
I mean, Washington's still a good roster.
Really good quarterback,
but
kind of magical type quarterback.
I think Parsons is going to play more this week. I see him. I think their goal would probably be to get him around the 75% of the snaps. I just think that's the difference. I think that Josh Jacobs controls the run game. LaFleur is a winner, and I just really like where Green Bay looked in week 1, and I like them at home on Thursday night.
Now we go to the Sunday 1 o'clock games. We start with the 1 o'clock games, but we're also going to start with the Colts every week. So I made the Broncos worth 4 points, making them the favorites. The Colts worth 6. Vegas says that the Colts at home are a 1.5-point underdog. Will, who are you taking?
Give me the Broncos. I think the Colts look good, but I think they lose a close, cagey affair. If this were played on a neutral site, basically the 1.5 line to me means that on a neutral site, Denver's a 4.5-point favorite. Usually, usually 3 points goes to the home team.
Yeah.
So I see that kind of being around where it's at. I think they win by a field goal.
The next closest game to Central Indiana being played on Sunday is the Jaguars at the Bengals. Well, the Bengals are 3.5-point favorites. That surprises me a little bit. I thought they might be a little more. I think Vegas is on to the Bengals. I made the Jaguars worth 6 and the Bengals worth 4.
I like the Jags going to Cincy and getting a big win. They've played the Bengals historically well. I think the Bengals looked pretty rough in week 1, and I think if there's a way that Cincinnati wins, it's because I think Jacksonville's secondary is weak. They didn't look great in week 1. I think the secondary, there were a lot of open receivers that were not getting, hitting the hands with the ball. So, but I just think Jacksonville wins. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I think that Lawrence has historically played the Bengals well. Their offense looked really creative in week 1, and the Bengals' defense is still bad. Still really bad. And if they keep Lawrence upright, which the offensive line looked pretty good in that week 1 victory over the Panthers, I think that's the key.
I agree. I think Jacksonville wins, and I think they win handily. The Chicago Bears are in Detroit. Both teams coming off disappointing losses. The Bears are 6.5-point underdogs. FPI says that the Lions have a 61.6% chance of winning. But I made the Bears worth 7 points and the Lions worth 3. Do you take the Bears in the upset?
I don't. I think the Lions come back and rebound from week 1. They still have a really good roster. And I think that just kind of gives them the upper hand in this game. I think Chicago's roster is weak. This feels to me like it's a game where It's really close. I think it's within. I think the Bears cover the spread, but I think the Lions win and get right the ship a little bit. They're just the roster's too good for them to be bad. I know that coaching makes a huge difference, but you can't tell me that the Lions aren't still a top 6, probably top 4 roster in the league.
Yeah,
as
they
far
would have
as,
been right outside of my top 5 most likely, although they're the Lions. So as I said all year last year,
yeah,
the chances are 0 for the
yeah.
Lions. But I think they're one of the best teams in the NFL still.
The Bears do play the Lions tough. I just don't think they have enough to get it done.
So we're both taking the Lions.
Yes.
Producer Susie took the Bears.
Okay.
The New York Giants are in Dallas. Dallas is a 5.5-point favorite and a 65.8% chance to win. I made the Giants worth 7 points and the Cowboys worth 3. The Giants worth 7?
I don't think so this week. I think that their issue still. Russell Wilson I don't think he's going to play well. I flat out just don't think he's going to play well, and I like that the Cowboys played the Eagles tough.
Yeah, they're not bad.
The Cowboys historically play well at home. It's a huge home field advantage. It will be very loud. I'm sure Thunderstruck will get the crowd rolling, and Jerry World just has a magic about it. The Cowboys just figure out a way to win this ball game. Dak's also still a pretty good quarterback.
He is. He's got some pretty good weapons as well. The Los Angeles Rams are in Tennessee to face the Titans. The Rams are 6-point favorites, 70% chance to win the game. I made the Rams worth 3, the Titans worth 7. Will you take the upset?
No, I like the favorite here again. I just think the Rams are in a different class than the Titans. Defense typically travels. The Rams defense looked incredible in week 1, and I see them going on the road and Matt Stafford just willing his team to victory. I think this game's a 2-touchdown game. I think the Rams go in there and beat them handedly.
Rams are dealing with some injuries. I don't believe that the Titans are. I think that Cam Ward, his first home game, gets his first home win, and Jeremy Giggy of WCSI in White River Communications agrees with me. Everybody else is taking the Rams. I think the Titans are worth the gamble in 7 points. If you took it straight up, I'd probably take the Rams, but I like the Titans' chances.
Okay.
The 49ers come eastward and have to play a 1 o'clock game. I never understood why they do that. Why not just play it at 4? Why play all the games at 1 and then just a couple? I'll never understand that, but whatever. The 49ers are 3.5-point favorites in New Orleans, despite the fact that they are really dealing with injuries in San Francisco. The win probability says 53% chance that the 49ers win. I have the 49ers worth 3, the Saints worth 7.
I am going to take the upset in this one. I think the Saints are bad, but I think the 49ers might just be worse with Mac Jones under center. He's going to have a week of prep, but Mac Jones is a capable starter, but I just don't really like the 49ers' weapons that much. I think they kind of lucked into a victory on Sunday, for a lack of a better term. I mean, if Sam Darnold's hands aren't the size of pennies, might hold onto the ball and score a touchdown there and win on that last drive. But I think the Rattler to Chris Olave connection develops. It gets stronger. Olave goes for a couple scores. Kamara's good enough to keep him in it, and their defense is gritty. So why not? Give me the upset in this one.
Me too. I don't like the 49ers, and I especially don't like the 49ers when they're this banged up.
Also, another good home field advantage. It is very loud in New Orleans.
Good point. Not a good home field advantage is the Miami Dolphins. Still, they are 1.5-point favorite over the Patriots. Are you surprised by that, first of all, after the Week 1 performance?
Yeah, I have no idea. They looked horrible. I mean, the Patriots at least looked okay. I wouldn't say they look like world beaters, but they looked okay. Yeah, give me the Patriots here. I think Vrabel goes in and wins one on the road.
Well, here's the reason you're wrong. I've been reading Vegas lines for 40 years, and they are begging people to take the Patriots. They know that this is a matchup that the Dolphins are going to win, and I agree. I'm taking Miami. Producer Susie, a big Dolphins fan, was very discouraged by last week and took the Patriots to win this game. Bills-Jets, I'm a little surprised, is a 1 o'clock game on CBS, but the Bills are in a ton of national spotlight, so I guess it's not that big of a surprise. The Bills are a 6.5-point favorite in New York. They have a 66% probability of winning. I have the Bills worth 3, the Jets worth 7.
Give me the favorite here. I think you could read in the tea leaves and talk yourself into Jets at being the underdog, but
I could definitely talk into the spread, but I am not taking them to win.
yeah, I just think the Bills are that good.
I do too, and I love Justin Fields. I've been telling you about him for 2 years now. I think he is a real NFL quarterback.
He looked really good.
Give me him over Bo Nix all day. The Seahawks are in Pittsburgh, and this surprises me too. Pittsburgh only a 2.5-point favorite. That's why I have Seattle worth 7 and Pittsburgh worth 3. Seahawks win in Pittsburgh?
Yes.
Why?
Because historically, teams that start the year 0-2 have a 12% chance of making the playoffs, and the Seahawks are a playoff team. And Pittsburgh's defense was less than to be desired, and I just think that the Seahawks take care of it. That's a good roster. I think that you can look and look at last week's performance and say, okay, well, the Seahawks aren't very good. This is still a good roster. It's still a good team, and I'm still not convinced on the pay. This is a classic Steelers lose this game. Classic Steelers lose this game.
I'm taking the Steelers. The Browns are in Baltimore. This is our game that we expect to be the least competitive. A 12-point favorite is Baltimore. I made the Browns worth 8, the Ravens worth 2. Any Monday night hangover?
No, not this week. Once again,
with that spread, maybe.
At the Ravens, teams like the Ravens aren't going 0-2 starting the year, so they're going to win. They're winning a football game this week.
The Ravens are winning a football game this week. The Panthers are in Arizona. One of 2 4 o'clock kickoffs, the other one being the Colts. Both are on CBS. Fox has the national game of the week, which we will be getting to real soon, which is a pretty good one.
Yep.
The Cardinals are 6.5-point favorites at home and have a 65.9% chance of winning this game, according to ESPN. Are you taking, Will, the Cardinals or the Panthers?
I'm going to take the Cardinals. I just think the Panthers are bad. And the Cardinals, they didn't convince me in a game. I do think that New Orleans is better than people probably think, and that's a reason why. But I see the Cardinals, their home opener. I think they win this one.
Sorry, people, about the cicadas. We were out early enough that they weren't going to be a big deal, but now they're out. So
yes,
it's not that big of a deal. Don't go away. And now to the 4:25 game. The defending world champion Philadelphia Eagles are at the 3-time defending AFC champion Kansas City Chiefs. The last 3 champions, and 4 of the last 7?
Yeah.
The Eagles and the Chiefs. The Eagles are a 1.5-point favorite in Kansas City. I'm surprised it's not more. According to ESPN, the Chiefs have a 53% chance of winning this game. It's hard to bet against Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. Are you going to do it?
No. The Chiefs aren't starting the year 0-2. They're winning a football game this week. They're just... Patrick Mahomes will find a way. Well, I don't know what the points is at 5-5. Is that your scoring?
5-5. Forgot to mention that.
I think you should give the Chiefs a 6, but let them be an underdog. Let them be. But that would be my...
They're a bit of an underdog.
Give me the Chiefs.
The Chiefs are going to start 0-2, and they're going to be below 500 by the end of the season.
Okay.
Will. Too many games. They just have played so many games. Something has to give one of these seasons. Now to Sunday night, and then 2 Monday night games, Will. Sunday night, the Atlanta Falcons are in Minnesota. The Vikings are 3.5-point favorites, and according to ESPN, have a 65% chance of winning this game. The Falcons are worth 7. The Vikings are worth 3. Who are you taking?
I'm taking the road underdog. I like the Falcons in this game. I think Penix looked good. They lost a tough home opener against the Bucs. I think Bijan goes nuts in this game, and J.J. McCarthy, while he looked great in that fourth quarter, let's not forget that the first 3 he looked pretty horrible, and I think that's going to be an issue. So, while I do think J.J. McCarthy in the end result is going to be a very good starting NFL quarterback, I just think he gets... Yeah, I think so.
Good.
I think you saw the intangibles.
Limited, man.
I like the Falcons. I like the Falcons in this game a lot.
I do too. And the first Monday night game is Tampa Bay in Houston. I have both teams worth 5 points. According to the Vegas odds makers, Houston is a 2.5 point favorite, but 50-50 according to ESPN. I have both teams worth 5 points. No one's going to be surprised by who we're taking.
I'm taking the Bucks.
Yeah, absolutely. I take the Bucks, and I take the Bucks going away in this one.
Yep.
And the last game of the weekend, Will, the Los Angeles Chargers are in Vegas to take on the Raiders, two of the coolest uniforms in the NFL. I'm a uniform guy, Will. And man, those Raiders are just classic. I can't stand that team, but I have the Chargers worth 4, the Raiders, the underdog, worth 6. The Chargers are a 4-point favorite and have a 61% chance to win the game according to ESPN. What do you think, Will?
I'm taking the home underdog. I just think the Raiders are going to win. I think that they're better. I think Pete Carroll, I love a Pete Carroll Jim Harbaugh matchup. I think this is going to be a coaching
Slapping
masterclass.
Harbaugh on his face again.
I like that they won. I like that they won that game in Kansas City. Well, not in Kansas City, in Brazil against Kansas City. But I just think that the Raiders, they're begging you to take the Chargers in this game is what I think Vegas is doing. I think Vegas is playing on the hype that the Chargers are a super good football team, and I think that's true. I think the Chargers are great, and I think maybe I made a mistake in leaving them out of the playoffs. With that being said, I think the Raiders win this week.
All right, Will, thank you so much for your time and for doing the show every week. In fact, we're going to do it twice. On Monday, we're going to get together and recap the weekend. And I think we're going to start talking a little baseball as well.
We might have to. It's getting hot.
Can't believe the Reds are back within 2 games of the playoffs.
The Mets just continue to stumble. They've had every opportunity to go and seal this up and write the check that they're on their way to October, but they just can't do it.
Twice a week, you get Will Retherford. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.